No, I want to do. Me do. These are perhaps the first words that your child may say to indicate that the child wants to be independent. And I am delighted to be talking on this topic today, which is independence in children and how it can help children in their different stages of development. I am joined by Mrs. Smriti Gopal in this conversation, who is a, a yoga coach, a parenting coach, an author, and she also happens to have a very rich experience of teaching kids. She is has been a Montessorian as well. I would like to start off, Smriti. First of all, welcome, and I would like to
Hi,
start.
Stuti.
Hi, hi. So I know this is a topic where I'm sure both of us can go on and on and on. But
I
of course, for the benefit of the viewers, we'll keep it limited and to
Mhm.
the point. Um, and having said that, I feel that first we can. I would like to start off the topic by asking the question that what really motivates children to be independent. So, if we look at the human psychology, it is the human tendency to be independent. So children have it, this inherent desire in them to make things happen in the world. They want to do something. They want to feel competent. They want to feel capable. And I think it's also about self-expression and choices, self choices. So, of course, this is an inherent desire in children, which continues from childhood, from the age of even when they are just born. And to give an example, say for example, a toddler is sitting in a high chair and is eating food, and say spills the drops off the bowl, and the adult can come and pick it for the toddler. But again and again this can go on because the toddler is having fun. He or she is seeing that this is dropping, there's a cause and effect, and I can do this, this is happening. And this independence keeps changing, keeps evolving from childhood to adolescence. So according to you, how do you think, and that how the stages of independence change, and how it really helps our children grow?
Yeah, Stuti, I think I agree with you when you say that independence is changing through the stages of development of the child. There's also the aspect of different areas of independence, like physical independence, mental independence, emotional independence. So each of these areas are developing differently at different stages, obviously based on the child's skill level, the ability, and interests, and various other things. So while we may be focusing on certain areas more than the others, while we may be, but then the development is happening naturally within the child in terms of all three areas.
Right.
So I think for the way we determine these stages of development is, first of all, I think as parents or even teachers, Stuti, in our school environments, unless you observe the child, you don't know what they are ready for. So
Absolutely.
taking a time out, like maybe a 48 hour of I'm not going to say anything to this child, but I'm just going to watch what the child is more inclined to do, autonomy, in with autonomy, like in the sense of on their own, and what are the areas that they want to do on their own but are yet to learn certain skills that would be needed for them to do that on their own. So, for example, I can tell you, like in India, when you're living in apartments, and you may have faced this with your own child, the little child wants to go down by themselves in the lift and go to their friend's house. And we keep saying, no, no, no. And then at a point, we have to see that they're ready for it. And so you start taking stages where you say, okay, you can take the lift down. Can you call me from the lobby before you go to your friend's house? Then can you call me from the friend's house to say that you've reached? Now, once you see that has happened a couple of times, you get the confidence as a parent that my child is able to do this, and then you allow that independence, right? You give that. But if we do not give independence, and we continue to see our children as incapable of doing things for a long time, we are actually not giving them inner strength. We are not giving them a power of ownership, that this is my responsibility. And that's where I think the job of parents and teachers, our jobs come into, where we observe and you learn where is it that I need to let go. That's the most toughest part, right?
Sure, I cannot agree more with you, Smriti, on this. That there's a very thin line for the parent, that how far do you go to help your child to see that independence and yet not, overdo it or overprotect your child, because that will stunt the growth again. And what you said, that reminds me of something I read some time back, that they say that, apparently the best parent is the one who can prepare the child to do things without the parent.
Mhm.
So that is what we should keep in mind when our children are growing up, that uh, at the end of the day we want them to be on their own without us. So in each stage of their development, how do we help them that they gain that independence? Because independence in itself, of course, we can see that, it is very very evident that, they can do a particular act, in terms of, as you said, maybe, going down the elevator, or maybe making their own sandwich, for example, or uh, buttoning their own clothes. But the indirectly, what is it doing to the child? The significance in terms of my self-esteem, my self-confidence, I can do it, and again, I can make it happen, so I'm capable. So all that is also so much linked to independence. So it's not just independence, but with independence, it is these skills also getting developed in the children, which we want them to develop, of course. So as parents, what do you think that the parents can do in, say, for example, their daily lives, to encourage independence in children? uh, like, what are the steps that we can take to ensure that our children become independent?
Yeah, what you just shared reminded me of a quote by Dr. Montessori, which I keep telling myself. I used to tell myself, even as a teacher and as a parent to young little children, is I diminish, you flourish. And that's what was Dr. Montessori's whole purpose in her work.
So
It's not
true.
us flourishing at all. Like we literally, like you said, we vanish from the whole situation while we're doing it. But of course, that those are the stages. Like you're saying, we need to develop it. So what can we do as adults with children for them to develop this independence? The first word that comes to my head, Stuti, is choices. If you do not offer your child choices and you're going to dictate terms and then expect them to take life's decisions with discernment and perfection, it's just impossible. So it starts with the very, very beginning of, would you like to wear this shirt or some other shirt? Would you like to eat this or something else? It's choices. Now, like I told you, there's the physical, mental, and the emotional aspect of independence. So, the physical aspect of independence, we need to allow children to do things on their own. So, letting them do some tasks which are completely their own, like from beginning to end, and you're not butting in at all. See, we parents are such experts in this manipulation. We say, you do it, and then we go and give our expert advice, and then we want to fix things. No, it means just do it completely on your own. So that is something which we can do for the physical. The mental, of course, asking questions and choices. Asking questions. Unless you ask questions and make discussions, your child is not going to be mentally independent to make those decisions later on in their life. For the emotional aspect is allowing them to feel whatever they're feeling and coming out of it at the time that is right for them. Just because we cannot see them in that state, it doesn't mean we rush and hurry and fix the state by offering a candy, watching a show, giving them some food. it doesn't help the purpose. So the emotional aspect of it is taken care by allowing them to feel, allowing them to express what they're feeling, and without being anxious about when will my child be happy. Happy is not the only state of feelings. Every other feeling is equally important for our child. So I would say these are the areas like choices, asking questions, allowing them to feel their feelings, doing things entirely on their own. And like you were saying, Stuti, the physical aspect of it is being taught in the Montessori environment so beautifully. And I want to you to share, like through your own school, how we bring about this physical, and of course in all other areas, but physical is so much focused, and our 2-year-olds do things so beautifully, right? So
Yes,
can you
it's
share
actually
something?
sure, Smriti. And I think I would love to answer this question, and especially the fact that I and the entire team of teachers is missing children in action. Of course, we are in the online mode, but we want to see them. We want to see their tiny hands working with things, and that is, of course, we are missing big time. And of course, to answer your question here, as you know that Montessori methodology so beautifully brings out independence in children. We know it, like, because when a child enters the classroom, the child, from the time of entering the classroom itself, has to make choices in terms of what work to choose, whereas a traditional environment does not offer that choice. So as you said, they have to make choices, because today they'll make small decisions, and later this will manifest in them having the confidence to make bigger decisions of life, because it does doesn't happen in a snap, right? So here
Mhm.
they're choosing what work to do. Then they are also learning in terms of independence. They're dressing frames that they're doing, so they're learning how to dress by themselves, taking care of the environment. They're helping other children around with aprons. They're tying each other's aprons, they're tying shoelaces for themselves, which is a big thing. And again, they are constantly making those choices, they're making those decisions. So uh, Montessori environment just facilitates independence, and by the time the children uh, pass out of preschool, I would say that they are so very much independent, and it does translate in other things also that they do. And I would also like to share an example. As you said, that parents at times just step in to help. They're very eager to help, like, if for example a child is making a tower with blocks, and suppose it starts falling off. So instead of the child stepping into help, sorry, the parent stepping into help, we let the child experience small doses of frustration. I think that is important, that because this is going to help them again be independent, make decisions, learn that they have made mistakes, and move on. So this will really help in facilitating independence, and of course encouraging them, appreciating them, because yes, they are looking at recognition and appreciation from parents, which is definitely must happen. And allowing them to make mistakes. You have your emotional safety net, that should be there, but allowing them to make mistakes. And I think many a times I feel that parents or teachers may even avoid encouragement of independence, just to uh, because it's maybe inconvenient, right? Sometimes we have our schedules. So if we know that if the child is doing something, it's going to take time, it's going to get messy. So to avoid all of that, we end up not helping the child to be independent. So I think we should try not doing that. And because yes, independence takes time, it takes patience, but it's really worth it. So daily chores definitely children can do, and slowly at each stage of development, right from the dishwasher, using the dishwasher, to the washing machine. And then they can actually help in cooking. First it can be non-fire, then it can be and like teenagers can do cooking by themselves, laundry by themselves, so many things.
Yeah, I completely agree. And what I wanted to add is, what we don't realize as parents and teachers is that when we are doing it for them, we think we are actually doing them a favor. In reality, we are doing them a big disservice. You're robbing them of the deep accomplishment that one feels when they do something on their own. And that is just not okay, because your child is never going to feel that deep accomplishment, like I did it, this is who I did. Like Dr. Montessori says, when she asked the children who taught you how to read, they said we learned it ourselves. That is the deepest accomplishment that one can have. So I completely agree. And one more thing, Stuti, I want to just tell the viewers that life itself is offering enough challenges and teaching lessons for the child to learn independence. If we only allow the child to live their life and not live it for them, that's all. Otherwise, if you look at it, when something drops, starting from a 2-year-old who drops something and who's crying, but is trying to wobble down that sofa and try to get it with that ooh kind of crying, but he's trying, and then when he gets it, do you see that accomplishment? Can you imagine somebody picking it up and giving it to him when he's halfway? He looks at you like, why the hell did you do that? I want to pick it up myself.
Right, right. We want to give them those moments. We want to
Yes, yes.
make them
And
feel,
mistakes,
yeah.
what is a mistake? You learn from your mistakes. And so allow those children to make those mistakes. When you protect them, you're not letting them learn, because the mistakes are not happening. So it's so important for us to keep this independence in mind. But I want to also bring one word to the platform today, and that is cultivating independence, Tuti. I have
Okay.
seen this as a teacher and as a parent. It's cultivating independence. Like you rightly said, children come with an innate desire, a need, a want to be independent, autonomic, and make their own life's decisions. But we think we know better. We feel that I know that what is good for this child, and we overtake that innate desire that the universe has given the child. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to respect that there is a guide within each of these children, and they will learn what they need to learn. But we need to cultivate it in the sense of, what are the opportunities I can give? How can I hold space? Like I said, waiting when the child is trying to get that bowl. But if you see they're going to fall off in a way that they're going to hurt themselves very badly, then you zoop in to help them. But wait, knowing when to go in and when not to is the art of parenting or teaching. It's like that's a very fine line of demarcation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, yeah, if we can do that, then the children will grow in an amazing way and be amazingly independent.
Yeah.
Um, and
And taking them to the next level. Independence is not the end. It is not like Stephen Covey in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People says, independence is the stepping stone to interdependence. And in our universe, in this world, if you want to live harmoniously, we've got to learn interdependence. And how does interdependence happen? Only between two independent individuals.
true.
So that's why we are focusing on that as a part of the child's growth and development, and cultivating it. Through cultivating means it's already there as a seed. We are only planting, I mean, putting water and giving it what it needs. Through, what is that? Button your own shirt. You've put it all up and down, no problem, go to school like that. But you did it yourself. Look,
Yes.
you did it yourself. But what is how it's looking bad? No, that's not the problem. The point is, the child did it himself or herself. So I think that cultivating is a crucial word, where you decide, okay, I think I'm stepping in too much, I need to back out. That time to back out needs to be known, and time to get in needs to be known.
Yes, so true. And before we end this conversation, I just want to say one more thing, that as you're saying that, we want them to be independent, to take decisions for themselves, to stand up for themselves. And if we are doing that, as parents, we should be ready that even the child at home may always not be, conforming or, obedient always,
Mhm,
because you cannot have it both ways. So if you want a
mhm.
child who will speak for himself or herself, you have to be ready for those discussions, those arguments, those heated
Yes,
arguments at home as well.
yes.
Uh, because that means that you are really raising a child who can speak for himself or herself. So that's really important.
That is their birthright, Stuti. I think it's their birthright. Independence is their birthright. Autonomy is their birthright. And conformity is not. They do not have to conform to us and do
Absolutely.
what we say and please us. You know, this pleasing us makes them a people pleaser later on in life, which is very, very hard to handle. You do not want to instill these dysfunctions in the child by wanting them to please us. We are the world that they're going to go into. Whatever they do with us, that's what they're going to do with the world. And if they're constantly trying to keep us happy, that's what they will do constantly with every human they meet. Then what happens to their true self, who they truly are? And that's where the problems begin. So we want to connect our children to their true selves by allowing them to be autonomous. That's the, you know, like Dr. Montessori says, the child holds the key to their personality. They hold the key. You don't hold the key. You only are that usherer, that holding space person, the
Facilitator, yeah.
giver. That's it.
True, true. So yes, it was like really wonderful having this conversation with you, Smriti, and I hope that the parents and others who are watching us uh, would have got some good insights and some good tips as well. And it's always, even for me, for my own daughter, I think these talks are just so wonderful. And I think of, always what I'm not implementing, I should do this. So thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. And yeah, I'm also still on the same journey. And, learning is ever going on. I mean, a process that goes on forever. So thank you, Stuti. And I love talking these things with you too, these topics, because they put us on the track, right? They remind us to be back on our path in case we have forgotten.
Absolutely. So thank you. Till we meet next time. Thank you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.